Let me read to you a segment from my book, Fueling the Fires of First Love. It's titled, God Brighten My Perspective. What we need in the onslaught of sorrowful feelings and in the midst of hard situations is the illuminating work of the Holy Spirit to remind us again of the glorious nature of our God. David, understanding that his eyes have been blinded to the glory of God by the turbulence of his hardship, cries to God for renewed eyesight, meaning proper perspective, the perspective of God. He states, "Consider and hear me, O Lord, my God, enlighten my eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death." Psalm 13:3. As we previously mentioned, David believes and feels as though God has turned away from him. Therefore, he asks God to consider him, to hear him, for the purpose of enlightening him, causing him to see again with right perspective that God is with him, for him, not against him, and desiring to lead him and guide him for the glory of God's name. He knows that the perspective with which he is viewing his hardship is not the perspective of God, and asks for a renewed perspective by the lighting of his eyes. He knows that if his eyes are not opened again to the beauty of God, his soul will faint at the despair of the real situations he's facing. If he doesn't see the beauty of God and God's tender care for him amidst the hardship of his life, he will not be able to continue on but rest in a state of despair. God must become, to our spiritual senses, more real than the pain of suffering that is attacking our physical senses. David then asks God, "Enlighten my eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death," meaning that if God does not open his eyes to see through the lens of hope in God, all hope is lost. David must see the salvation of God tangibly on display, forcefully drawing out his soul from a place of despair, bringing him to a place of radiant joy in God. This experience of taking us from bitterness of soul to overwhelming joy of God is the work of God in the heart of the obedient Christian. May we see God deliver us from sin, despair, discouragement, depression, bringing us to exuberant joy in God, happily carrying out all that He commands of us.